welcome to the Weekends Over podcast. I'm your host, Alex, back here with the boys to talk about last week's picks for some games that we had. So, Taylor, go ahead and say hello.
What's up?
Max, say hello. All right, good. And Taylor, go ahead and tell us how we did last week with our picks.
We started our basketball picks last week because we have our ongoing bowl thing and playoff thing, which we'll get into, but that's a overall time. So we went in and started college basketball pick. We started small. We'll do more than this, but we did six. And Alex went 5-1. He only missed on Alabama did not cover 11.5.
Should have.
And yeah, they should have. It hurt me. I went 4-2. I missed on Bama and Gonzaga. Shout out UConn. I guess they're back. I guess Dan Hurley will play in Madison Square Garden again.
I
So
told you, that was one of those games that I just felt like UConn's
I
gonna win
know,
it.
but the whole like their back thing is just fucking stupid. But we can talk about that a different time. Max went 2-4. Had kind of a bad start. Clemson let him down. Purdue let him down. He hit on Auburn and Tennessee, but he like me thought Gonzaga would cover and Ben would cover, and they both did not. So two and
Tell
four to
me,
start for Max.
what's my overall basketball record right now? Something in three?
No, you're basketball. You're 5-1.
Overall, with the last ones included.
Oh, because with the picks. So overall, yeah, I forgot we added. Okay. So hold on a second. So you're 18. No, you're 18-4. You're 18-4. I'm 16-6, and Max is now 13-7. So
All I
we're
want to
off and running.
say,
Bro,
all I want to say,
we're not even. We just started basketball.
all
I
I
will
want to
kill you
say
in basketball this year.
for everybody that's been watching this, all four of you,
You're up one game in the NFL.
I'm letting you know, I have been whooping them the whole time, a whole year, and on all these picks. If you're gonna look at anyone's picks, look at mine also from the NFL podcast. I uploaded late. Canva was down. The thing that
Whenever
I
he can
used.
upload it, anyways.
Canva was down. I can't do anything the way I edit it, but I have a parlay going right now that we're watching, and we need Brock Bowers' touchdown. If that happens, ten
I hope
dollars
I hope they
turns
run the
in.
ball the whole game.
I hate you. $10 turns into 750. But anyways, went over our records and everything. Uh, let me. There we go.
We're gonna do transfer portal right now, right?
Yep, we're gonna go and talk some college football now. We're gonna talk about some transfer portal news. Specifically, we'll start off with Auburn. Got their QB Taylor, our local Auburn expert. Explain to us, what does this mean for LeBron's legacy?
Ooh, if you go listen to the last podcast, we talk about LeBron's legacy a lot. That's all I'll say on that. Jackson Arnold, I like it based off of who is in there. You can't just wait when you're Auburn and you need a quarterback. I think Jackson, first of all, he's made for the RPO system, and that's what Auburn runs. He had no wide receivers to throw to last year. So looking at his numbers is just stupid. But he threw for like 1,400. Now he only threw 3 picks. He had 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I think he'll thrive under Hugh's system. I think he's young enough where Hugh can still teach him. He's not Peyton Thorne, where he's like 50 years old already and he's set in his ways. I think they just added their backup quarterback too. That dude from Stanford, the starter from Stanford last year. So
No idea
um,
who he is.
yeah, Ashton Daniels or something like that. He's he's just there to back up because we our two backup quarterbacks, Walker White and Hank Brown, both entered the portal. I don't know if the Walker White thing is going to be. I think they may be able to talk him into staying. Hank's already at Iowa, as Tyler's said he wants to kill himself several times about. But it is what it is. He likes to carry four quarterbacks, so my guess is he'll still add one more. Nope, nobody like big or anything like that. Nobody that's going for playing time. I wouldn't be shocked if it's like a FCS guy or something like that, just to so they can come practice there and transfer next year. But yeah, that's cool. We added our Jarquez Hunter replacement that the Durrell Robinson from UConn. I think he ran for like 800 yards on 100 carries only. We had like 12 touchdowns. They've added a couple tackles, but
So do you
Overall,
like it like what y'all are doing so far?
yeah. No. I mean, I can't. I think they're number one in the transfer portal rankings right now, which is like stupid to say because not everybody started. Like, I don't even think Alabama's added anybody yet. Just like for example, so like, but I'm happy with it, and we haven't lost anybody too significant. I will say today, Amarius Williams, one of our talented edge rushers that we signed last year, did enter the portal. He's from North Carolina. I'll let you fill in the blanks on that. A little bit of tampering involved. Fuck you, Bill Belichick. We are going to try to keep him, but that would be a significant loss just for depth. I mean, we do have Jared Smith coming in next year, and Keldrick Falk. Hopefully, he doesn't leave. If he doesn't leave, we'll have an All-American on off the edge. But yeah, no, I can't complain. I mean, some people will bitch about the quarterback thing, but I mean, like Cam Ward doesn't enter the portal every year. I mean, the Cam Ward this year is probably the Washington State quarterback. He has entered the portal. He entered it today, but he's entering under no contact tag. I'll let you fill in the blank where he's going. His offensive coordinator is at Oklahoma. So
Hmm.
you got to take what you can get. I mean, it was between him and Malik Murphy, and Malik Murphy can't run. Malik Murphy might be a little bit of a better thrower, but he can't run. There's no point of having a quarterback that can't run in an RPO system.
No, I think Arnold's gonna fit y'all really well. I mean, obviously he kicked our butts this year.
And he got
I do.
benched
He got
because he was
benched
in it,
early.
but he was in an air raid system. He's the
Yeah,
number one dual threat quarterback in his class. What dual threat quarterback's going to look good in an air raid system?
and I think also like earlier in the year, like no surrounding players around him. I mean, that was a big thing for
Yeah, his
Oklahoma is
top
that their
six wide
whole yeah,
receivers were never played.
and it's not like his backup did really much better. If
No,
anything,
it
probably did
was,
worse.
yeah, they shouldn't have benched him. If anything,
But yeah, I think he's gonna be a good fit for y'all. I actually don't like that he went to y'all because I do think he is a good QB. So that'll be something, especially Hugh Freeze offense. Get to see him, and plus Cam Coleman's still there. That's gonna be interesting to watch.
and then
Next,
one more thing on Auburn, they are trying to get that dude from Georgia Tech. It's between them, Ole Miss, and Texas. That Singleton, the dude that tore up Georgia in the UGA Georgia Tech game. He's the number one portal player right now in the portal.
Mhm.
So that would be the KLS replacement. So him or CJ Daniels from LSU. I think those are the two they're targeting right now.
Okay.
But
Max, Bama. Obviously, we're losing some guys. I do think they're kind of making it a big deal, bigger than it is, with some of the people that we're losing, because I think we're going to be able to replace pretty well. But right now, based on who we've lost, who do you think's the person that you're most hurt about, and the person that you don't really care that much about that we lost?
Um, I would say probably Backway, probably most heard about. Not really though, because I mean, look, we've lost the best player in college football before, so we're kind of
talking about
hardened.
Downs,
Yeah, we're kind of hardened to some of these. Well, he was the best player, one of the best safeties in the
When we
league
lost them.
when we
Yeah.
lost him. Yeah, maybe it's this year. It wasn't had a great year, but anyways. Bach was, which he played fine. He wasn't like, that's why I'm saying it's not too bad. He was fine, but he did do some. But he was a true freshman. You expected him to do things like that. So, but he got a lot of playing time. But obviously someone's offering a lot of money,
1-3. That's a lot.
and
Ole Miss, cough cough.
you know, but like I said, I think it's honestly a smart move by Bama not to just be throwing money around. Nick Saban was right. When Nick Saban talked about this, he was right. You better pay the right players, because if you don't, it only takes a couple of guys for you to spend $1 million on, and you're going to be hurting real bad then.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw where Ole Miss was telling him that they would let him play both ways. I just don't think Alabama was going to let him do that.
Mm-hmm. How about the person you don't really care that much that we lost?
Y'all have a long list of that, don't y'all? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Hayes Fawcett posts everybody that he posts our walk-ons that leave an image of them and everything.
I will say I did want to ask y'all about. Let me make sure I get the dude's name right. Jimmy Modis went to Colorado, by the way.
Yeah, he left after the Vandy game.
Yeah. What's the dude's name? Is it Emmanuel
Emmanuel
Henderson?
Henderson. Yeah, he was a running back
Well, so far he's the only
moved to
one other than Mbakwe that's left that's played actually, right? Correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
He had one big catch against Georgia early on in the game. He was another young guy. He was a running back. They moved him to receiver. He had a few catches here and there, but I remember the one that it was big. He had one early in the game against Georgia. I think the first drive, he had like a 40-yard catch or something like that. And
It was
which
46. It was 46 and in an advantage game at a 28. That's what he was defined by
yeah,
when he entered. I
yeah.
mean, if
So
you're talking about,
not
yeah, I mean,
it's not losing much.
well, y'all are also in on the NC State receivers, I believe.
Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be huge.
KC Conception or whatever. I mean,
Concepcion.
Concepcion, and then the Miami receiver that just entered the transfer portal a couple of days ago. What's his name? Um, Isaiah Isaiah Horton.
Yeah. I think we just need to get one guy. I think because we'll have um
Ryan.
we'll have Ryan, we'll have Bernard coming back, uh, and we'll have
My
who am I
guess would
thinking? Cole Adams, a little white guy who's actually pretty good early on.
We get the
Um,
NC State
we'll
guy. That'd
have
be huge.
and Jalen Hale is coming back. You forgot about him. He was hurt all year. He got
Mhm.
hurt in the spring, but he played last year. A lot as a true freshman at receiver. Had a big touchdown catch against um, Ole Miss last year. I think he's a really good receiver. He'll be coming back. So
On the
yeah, I think y'all want KC. Now I know he's basically I think a lot of people are projecting y'all to get him, but he is still going to visit Colorado and Miami, I think. So
yeah,
I mean Colorado's bound to just throw a dumbass offer at him like they did
yeah,
Otis. But I think y'all get him because I think y'all made him a priority. And I think that's what he wanted to, he's been in the ACC, so I don't exactly know why he would go to the Big 12.
yeah,
Mhm.
So it was
uh
y'all and A&M was the only other one, but A&M got the dude from Texas Tech. What's his name?
yeah. I saw that.
Micah Hudson or whatever. So I don't know why he would go there when they've got their wide receiver one.
talking about transfer portal just in general, we were having this discussion beforehand. Obviously we've been hearing about some of the amounts of money that
Two,
they're giving these players,
2-7.
and yeah, two step. I mean, and some type of the things that these players are demanding is kind of ridiculous. I mean, what's y'all's thoughts on the things that are going to have to change in the future about the NIL, the transfer portal? Because there's going to have to be something that's changing because
Well, there is something that's changing. It's called revenue sharing, and it's going to get passed in the spring. And so, like, you're going to go from, I think the split on it, you have to contribute so much money the university does to it. So, say the number's 35 million. Hear me out here. I think the splits are 75, 15, and then a bunch of fives. So, basketball's getting 15, football's getting 75. So say your number is like 16 million for football. That's going to be on the lower end, but that's like, so you have to have 16 million for football. That is going to cut out the collectives. And it's going to be interesting to see how they do with a lot of these sports are going to get cut. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this, but like your women's soccer teams that loses you money every year is they're probably going to cut it because that's probably where they're going to use that money. They're probably going to get accountants in there go, wait, we need to build up $20 million for football. So, well, there's 3 that we
Well,
lost. There's 4 that we lost.
I think a lot of those smaller sports are like not necessarily. I mean, obviously they're funded by schools, but I think a lot of it is from like alumni that played that, and I think they could still continue program. I don't know how much as far as NCAA like wise, like having big tournaments and things like that. But
It's going to take a turn. I mean, because these teams are certain they're going to have to opt into revenue share. You don't
yeah.
have to do it. So
But
there's going to be certain schools that do it. I mean,
all I know is Colby was the tennis coach at Bravo High School, and they had zero money, and they managed to do it. They managed to travel around the state and go play. So if they can do it, sure,
mhm.
college can figure out stuff like that. But I mean,
the
as
students are
far
going to
as
fund it.
The students are going to fund it.
hey, What
I mean, a lot of that
travel
might turn into
baseball
that.
is one of the biggest things in the country, and look how's it done.
It's
They
funded
pay
by
for it.
they pay for it. No,
Yeah.
yeah. But I do think revenue sharing will help kind of even out the playing field. Now, they're gonna have to start doing contracts if we're
Yeah,
this big.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's
We're gonna
We're
have to
being
get
honest. We're being
that's what
honest.
I was getting at. Like contracts
salary
are gonna
cap.
have to be a thing. Yeah, and there's
But
gonna have to cap.
the problem with contracts and caps is there's a thing called a collective bargaining agreement. So say you are a rookie. Max gets drafted in the first round. He's a wide receiver. Yes, whatever. You go into that and you get paid what they agree what a rookie deal is worth, and you can't fight it because that's what the players agreed on in their bargaining agreement. They don't have that thing in college right now, so like when somebody goes, "Oh, you need to sue him. He just left the team." Well, who are you suing? Like there's no bargaining agreement between the players, and the players aren't going to agree to any of these new things without having a say in the matter. I wouldn't either. So I don't know. Eventually, you're going to have to call. Eventually, they're going to be employees, right? For the university.
That's what Nick Saban says.
Yeah, because you're going to have like I said, player reps that agree to what a freshman makes, what a baseline for a freshman is, what a baseline for a sophomore is, like minimums, and like Alex said, caps, like because you don't like. Okay, I'll just say it. I told them this. I mean, the rumor going around right now, and I listen to a bunch of these podcasts with these guys that are in the coaching circle, so they know it. The rumor is there's like certain schools that are telling Quinn Ewers, "We'll give you 8, 9, $10 million if you come play for us next year and don't go pro." Like, I mean, just
Crazy.
tell me how you beat that. I mean, the same thing like Oregon and Texas are just throwing
Oregon's
Nike
got
money.
the Nike money, man.
It's money than anybody.
Like yes, so like it's not even fair right now, to be honest with you. So like they're gonna have to figure that out because you can't just Oregon can't come in on somebody's recruitment and just go, okay, here's $10 million. Because I'll go ahead and tell you this: the two most dominant teams in college football, what was considered the pillars, is Alabama and Georgia. They can't. They even as good as they are, they can't pay that.
No.
They can't outbid Texas. They can't outbid Oregon. Now, what they can do is what nobody else can do. They can say we're Georgia and we're Alabama. Nobody else can really do that. So it hasn't hurt them as much. But I will say it is starting to hurt them a little. It is starting to hurt.
Yeah.
And if it's hurting them, if we got
And
to the
you
point where it's hurting them, like it's hurting everybody.
I think right now where you're seeing it's hurting their depth. We used to have where if a guy got hurt, guess what? Didn't matter. Our next guy was just as good. Now
Yeah.
it's not. It's not that way anymore.
Yeah, it's hurting y'all's depth, but eventually it's going to start hurting your starters because Texas, like I said, Texas, Texas A&M, Oregon, those three schools, the amount of money they can throw around. I mean, it's not really, say it's not fair.
Yeah.
Then somebody will go on Twitter and be like, "Don't be broke," but like,
Well, I'll
that's
say
not a.
once the Weekends Over podcast gets really big, we're definitely going to be donating to Alabama. So
No, we're not.
Yeah. I'm gonna start an NIL selective.
If I became a billionaire, I was talking to my dad about this. I would give like 60% of it to Auburn and be like, "Don't ever lose less than 10 games a year."
And I would believe you. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, as far as like the portal news, like, are there any other players that y'all see like besides Bama Auburn that y'all want to talk about?
Well, Washington State quarterback just entered. He's probably this year's Cam Ward. I kind of feel bad for Washington State because the last 2 years they've had the top quarterback. I'm pretty sure he's going to Oklahoma. Although he's kind of dumb for doing that. I know Miami wants him to. Is it Maytier or whatever how you say his name? I think he threw for like 5,000 yards this year. I'd probably go to Miami over Oklahoma right now. Oklahoma's pretty depleted on everything, but their offensive coordinator, his old offensive coordinator's there. Like I said, there is rumors. It's another thing I've heard that playoff quarterbacks are literally waiting for their season to end to enter the portal. So, like
Really?
I've heard the SMU quarterback. I've heard rumors.
Oh, I can believe that.
The SMU quarterback.
He's a little bit overrated as
Quinn
a QB.
Ewers. I mean Quinn Ewers because
Ours is starting next year. There's
Carson
no question about
Beck's the rumor on Carson Beck right now is he won't play the rest of this year. But the rumor on Carson Beck is he doesn't think he needs to go pro, but he doesn't want to play in the SEC. So I wouldn't be shocked if you saw him go somewhere. Which I was talking to my buddy about this. I'm like, you know what?
Miami.
Just thinking about your draft stock wise, it would be kind of smart to start in the SEC and go like your first whatever years you put up whatever stats, but you go, I played with the big boys. And then you go to like a Miami or something like that and you throw for 5,000 yards and you go, and whether it's because it was a lot easier or whatever, you just go, look, I was battle tested, I got better. You don't want to do it the other way. So if he did that, that would be kind of smart.
Goes from the ACC to the SEC and sucks.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. There's a problem. Like this is the issue. Like the Penn State quarterback, Allard, he's coming back for another year. So his backup, his second string quarterback, enters the transfer portal because he has to. I mean, we can say this for next week. We can talk about the dates and stuff when they're open. Like the fact that it's open right now and there's teams in the playoff. But the backup for Penn State has entered the transfer portal and he's not going to play because and his coach agreed with it. He's like, I don't blame him. He's got to get in now or he's not going to get money. But then Allard takes a bunch of bruises every game. If he gets hurt, they're fucked. They have no quarterback after him. They have a walk on.
Leave. Texas has some guys hit the portal.
I mean,
Arizona
one thing that we got to talk
Arizona
about is Marshall. They're not playing in their bowl game because they don't have enough players.
How about this? How about this? Listen to this. And this is just how ridiculous it is. I know this for a fact. I heard this down podcast. There is a guy from Arizona State that's in the transfer portal that is going to go to Texas. Arizona State could play Texas in the quarterfinals. There is a absolute scenario where this dude stays because the Arizona State coach has stayed. He lets him stay where he's on the sideline with Arizona State, and then he's going to play for Texas next year.
Ring, but anyway, I can ring either way, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, that's ridiculous. Yes, Alex, that is a good point. Marshall literally had to drop out of their bowl game because they had 25 players in the portal. Well, this is more reason I think
It's not from playing this time.
Meaningless bowls are going away. I can tell Alex is not happy with the Raiders.
Yeah,
I think that's why meaningless bowls are going to go away.
That just fucking missed a great one.
What did we miss?
What did we miss?
A statement about Marshall.
What'd you say? Oh God! Please tell me.
Glad
Please
it's
tell
not
me.
going to be from a plane this time.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. I was caught up on.
Okay, y'all just ruined that.
Look,
That's a good one.
We got a long off season where we'll talk about college basketball a lot, but we can always talk about transfer portal.
Brandon got 3rd and 26 is always the move.
We can save some other stuff for that, but I think I'm good on the portal for now. Yeah, it's a shit show.
Yeah, they suck. Brock Bowers isn't catching a touchdown. Okay, we're gonna do some our college football playoff picks. So we'll start off with all the regular. We'll finish off the rest of the bowl games, and then we'll get off to the playoff games. Give our first round picks for everything. How it's
now,
happen.
So for the playoff and the bowl game, we're gonna combine those for our record over time. So like we'll do the quarterfinals the first round this week, quarterfinals next week, semifinals, whatever. They'll be added to our bowl picks, but we're gonna pick them like we picked all year, correct? So we're gonna pick playoff lines. Playoff games with lines, but bowl games just with straight up. So,
all right. Well, first one we got is the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. We have UConn versus North Carolina. North Carolina is the favorite. Taylor Thompson, let's go to you first. UConn or North Carolina?
Let's go UNC. Did y'all see Belichick try to talk to college students?
I haven't seen him try. I still think it's really cool that he's there.
Yeah, fuck him. He's trying to take a player from Auburn.
He's going to get him.
Might.
He better hope he's Tom Brady.
Max?
I'm going North Carolina. Those guys are going to be trying to show off for the new coach, so that what they can do. So I think they'll try and step up and win. Give
me UConn. UConn has been the better team this whole year. North Carolina sucked this year. It's 6-6. Not a good North Carolina team. UConn 8-4. Had some close games.
Did you see UConn's schedule?
Yeah. Did you see how bad North Carolina looked this year?
I saw UConn look really bad too.
I heard Belichick's already got practice film on UConn, so
Oh, if that's the case. Nah, give me UConn. I'm gonna go UConn. Now we got the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Boston College versus Nebraska. Nebraska is the favorite. Max, we'll start off with you. Who's gonna win the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Max? Castellanos is not there, by the way. He's gone.
He
Yeah.
hasn't been there for
And Rail is
What
gonna
happened
play.
to him? He just
He's-
quit, didn't he?
He's in
No,
the
they
portal.
benched him, and then he quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's like 5'9". He's not going anywhere.
Auburn needs a 4-string quarterback.
Let me give me BC.
Okay. Taylor?
Nebraska. I always pick the team with the better quarterback in these matchups when I don't know much about them.
I'm picking Nebraska as well. Yeah, I don't have much to say on it.
I'm picking the better coach.
I disagree with that. Matt Rule's the better coach.
He is? What has he done?
What has the Boston College coach done?
He's won Super Bowls as a coordinator, won national championships as a coordinator.
As a coordinator. Gus Malzahn's won national championship.
Yeah, but what has the other guy done? What has short fat fuck done? He went fucking 11-1 one time at Baylor. Holy fuck!
And that is pretty impressive.
All right.
Didn't win shit though.
The Isleta New Mexico Bowl. Okay.
What'd you say?
Isleta New Mexico Bowl. It might be Ileta, but it's Isleta New Mexico.
That's a slur.
Yeah, you're canceled.
We got TCU versus Louisiana Raging Cajuns. TCU is the favorite. Taylor?
UO got like the fuck beat out of them at home in their conference championship game. Give me TCU. And I'm glad you said it right, because apparently if you're a reporter for the Sun Belt, you have to call them Louisiana University or they cancel your credentials. I heard that too.
Max?
I mean the TCU Horny Toads.
I'm gonna take TCU as well. They're playing closer to their home, so maybe that helps them. Next up, Pop-Tart Bowl. This is actually a lit
This
bowl.
is a good one. This is
Pop-Tart
a good one.
Bowls, and I like the little Pop-Tart running around all the time. He's pretty
Did you
funny.
say that their trophy is a toaster? Then that's
Yeah.
the football.
Yeah. And you get to eat the mascot at the end.
Iowa State versus Miami. Miami's the favorite. I'll go first. Give me Iowa State. I think Iowa State will do it. I think Miami's defense is still bad, right? They've always been bad.
Cam Ward's not playing, right?
I don't know if he is
Who?
or not.
Cam Ward.
No, Cam's playing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least I thought they said he was. That actually would be something I should look up before I wrote down my pick.
Give me Iowa State trying to prove something.
Max?
Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to go Miami too. Yeah, Cam Ward's playing. I'll go with Miami.
All right. Next up, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. It's so fun reading these names. I didn't know he had his own
That
bowl
was
game.
the bar that they have had Snoop Dogg and Barstool be their sponsors. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Okay, Miami of Ohio versus Colorado State. Taylor, who do you got? Colorado State is the favorite. Oh, excuse me. Miami of Ohio is the favorite, but the public is picking Colorado State.
Miami, Ohio beat the shit out of somebody. Or did they get the shit beat out of them by Ohio?
Yeah.
Give me Colorado State.
Okay, Max.
Same.
Give me Miami of Ohio. I think they're going to be like, hey, that was a fluke. We got to prove something. Go Bowling Military Bowl. East Carolina versus NC State Wolfpack. The NC State Wolfpack are the favorites. Give me NC State. I think this will be closer, though, because I think they have some players not playing. But give me NC State. Max, you go.
Hmm. NC State.
Taylor.
NC State.
All right, this is a good one. The Valero Alamo Bowl. We got BYU, the Jokers, versus the Colorado Buffaloes. Can't more to them. They're playing. Um,
No, you mean Shador and Travis.
sorry, yeah, Shador. They're both playing. This is what could have been the Big 12 championship game. They both fumbled. Give me Colorado. I think they're gonna go off in kind of end their season off, end their careers off at Colorado, right?
It's kind of stupid that they have to play each other in a bowl game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But at least they didn't play this year, so
They could have put them against Miami. That would have been more fun.
Fuck, I mean, at least they didn't play each other this year. I will say this though. I always advocated that Ole Miss and Alabama should have played in like their bowl game because I thought that would have been cool. So I guess it's not as stupid as I think. Give me Colorado.
And BYU.
You're joking?
I'm joking. And I think Shador and Travis and Coach Prime have been joking themselves. They're having a good old time, fucking doing
Think
it
they're-
all. They're
We
doing it all.
they're
We
too
didn't
busy
talk.
right
we
now?
didn't. We didn't
And-
talk about
and-
it, but go ahead. Sorry.
Fuck
You
you,
talking about-
bitch.
You could talk about Travis Hunter win the Heisman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all knew it was
Fine,
gonna
but
happen.
guess what BYU's doing? They're sitting at home watching, joking, watching and joking. And guess what? They know they're preparing.
Oh,
The
they're
Cougs.
the Cougs.
All right, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, Army versus Louisiana Tech. So this is a bowl where that Marshall had to opt out of because Louisiana Tech is 5-7 and they're in a bowl game. Give me Army. Army's gonna win. Louisiana Tech probably shouldn't be there. Max.
I didn't even hear you say Louisiana Tech. I just thought you were like, yeah, Army's gonna win against Marshall. So what's the spread on that? Give me Army.
Army did get absolutely annihilated by Navy though, which is wild. I did not see that happening.
Me either. I'm gonna take Army. I think Louisiana Tech also has like 20 something players in the transfer portal. So
Maybe they'll lose a couple more and they'll put Auburn
hey,
in.
Army's has a running back in the transfer portal. He
thought
got
that
out
was-
because as long as you like you can't after your second year you can't, but you can after your first year. Like Paul Skeens did that when he was at Air Force to LSU. You just have to get out before your second year, and I don't think you get punished.
They're gonna come abduct him when he transfers and put him back in
That's
the
awesome
Army.
tweet. Like, can he do that? It's like, yeah,
Yeah, only before your junior year though.
you could still do it though.
Yeah, you can work some out, but you have service time that you have to make up once you enter your junior year, you start like you're
Yeah, I
obligated.
guess it's different. Yeah, I guess it's different if you're at the school because,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, because yeah, I guess it's different. I guess once you're in, I guess you can quit right away, like Shane Gillis.
Yeah. Paul Skeens did the same thing. I think.
But Paul Skeens is a fucking quitter then, pussy. He should have served our fucking country.
True.
Oh, fucking gross.
I would also
Stop.
not serve our country over doing what he's doing.
I could never shoot. No. Hell yeah, let's get it right, boys.
Well, this is Max's favorite bowl coming up, the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
Ooh.
Somebody has to think, okay, we got to change our name. Right?
No, they kept it. We got the Iowa Hawkeyes versus Missouri.
No,
Missouri
I
is
was
the
playing in
favorite.
this. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Taylor Thompson, go first. Who do you have?
Give me Missouri.
Max.
I'm at the Cockeyes.
I
The
was
Cockeyes.
very, very, very split on this because I'm not sure if Missouri is going to show up, and I know Iowa wants to try as hard as they can actually in their bowl games. But I know last year they said the same thing and got absolutely whooped by Tennessee.
Drew Lock's playing.
Okay, they gave me Missouri. That helps. Next up, the ReliaQuest Bowl, Alabama
Ooh.
versus Michigan. I'm gonna let you know. I'm picking Michigan. They already said. I mean, obviously Alabama's lost some players. I think we're gonna go out and try and prove a point. I think we're gonna try to play hard. I could see Michigan trying to do the same thing as well. They did lose their starting running back though. He entered the transfer portal, so he won't be playing. Yeah, give me Bama, Taylor.
You said you were picking Michigan at first.
Yeah, you
No,
did.
I'm at Bama.
You know what? Give me Michigan. I think that Ryan Williams is gonna go to catch a pass, and then he's gonna remember that his podcast partner left the program, and he's gonna start crying and let Michigan win. Yeah, I really am going to take Michigan just because I don't know how much Bama gives a shit about this. I mean that in all due respect.
No,
Like, this is
understandable.
probably the like least important game y'all have played in since 2007. I'm being serious.
No, we played some bowl games.
But that was
We
Bowl
beat,
games,
Mich-
yeah.
we
those
beat
were still
Michigan
the,
before.
but even the Capital One Bowl still was at the time was like the best non like whatever bowl. Like, this has got to be like, I don't know. I'll probably be wrong.
Well, we can fuck this with that because we should definitely be a fucking, on one of the bigger balls. But
Yeah,
we
they
should like
put you
the
against
matchup
Michigan.
though. I like the matchup though.
It's
So
a rematch. It's a rematch of last
yeah,
year.
it's a rematch. I am going with Bama. I do feel kind of what Taylor's saying though. We have before where we just don't show up, and I hope they're taking it serious because this is a serious game. As far as for the future, like if we fucking lose to Michigan in the bowl game, how many more guys are gonna want to leave? How does it make you look? You got to go win this game. Michigan's not very fucking good. Their offense, they have no offense. They still can't throw the ball. So hey, you know what we need to do?
Run the ball.
Fucking load the box. Don't let them run the ball. Make them throw it. Put one-on-one. Guess what? Jalen and fuckface isn't there anymore. That's good. Get his ass out. We'll put somebody else in there. Drake Patrick's son's back there. He's a true freshman.
That's a good point.
Put his ass in.
Oh, who's the corner y'all like? Devontae Smith?
Yeah, he lost. He's actually probably the biggest hit, I would say, kinda, because he's a good DB. He'll be a senior, I think, but he would be a starter next year. But he cost us on some penalties a lot. He's a little too emotional and he's one of those guys where like he'll make a tackle for like 25 yards down the field and get up and be like, "Fuck yeah." And it's just like, dude, they just gained 30 yards on you,
He's going to Notre Dame. Real quick, just to have a reasoning behind this. I will say this: if Michigan wouldn't beat Ohio State, I wouldn't have done this. But I think the momentum from that, and then they have a bunch of people coming in next year, including the #1 quarterback in the country. I think there's a lot of momentum behind in Michigan's program right now. So okay. I also think, just like Bama, they think this is just as important. Mm-hmm. Bama should win, but I do want to pick separate from y'all just to really try to win the thing. So
next up, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
How come you haven't said Auburn's Bowl yet?
They're the last ones. We're saving it for last.
Cool. Just don't forget about it.
They're playing Alabama State.
Shit.
Louisville Cardinals versus Washington. I'm picking Louisville. They're the favorites. Don't know much about either team. Louisville's the favorite. I'm pick Louisville. Max.
Give me Louisville. They got Ja'Cory Brooks. Louisville's offense has been pretty good all year. Washington has looked decent at times, but I think Louisville has more talent. They're gonna score points on Washington.
I agree. And Washington might not score on Louisville. Not because Louisville's got a good defense, but just because their offense has been god awful all year.
Washington's defense is what's kept them in games to be close against some good teams. But I mean, good teams like I don't know,
Indiana.
They stayed in it. Yeah, they stayed in with Indiana for a little bit. They stayed in it with Oregon for a little bit. Who'd they beat? Did they beat Michigan?
Yeah, they beat Michigan. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's their best win.
But
so is Indiana's too, and they're in the playoff. But
next
up,
can't
beat Ohio State.
Next up, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. One thing that doesn't make sense for me is like, how is it a Cheez-It Citrus Bowl?
Citrus?
Yeah, Cheez-Its don't make anything citrus flavored. South Carolina versus Illinois, easy game. South Carolina is going to dominate Illinois. Illinois wasn't good this whole year. They kind of been overrated, and I also think South Carolina is going to want to come in here and be like, "Hey, we should have been in the playoffs." I mean, that's what my take on it is, Max.
South Carolina, yeah, they're gonna wax that ass.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Big, just like the Bama thing, it's big for them to win to capitalize going into next. Even more though, even more so because they aren't Alabama. So Alabama could lose this and still be fine because they're Alabama. South Carolina, I'm not saying they couldn't win it, lose this, just
But
be
they need
fine.
it.
But they need it for their momentum going into next
Mm-hmm.
year. Yeah.
The Kinders Texas Bowl, Baylor Bears versus LSU. Give me Baylor. I think LSU is kind of just gonna be not doing much. Brian Kelly's kind of, I don't know. They don't have any momentum. They don't really have a lot going for them right now. Though they have the better QB most likely, but I think Baylor's gonna be able to take care of them. Taylor,
Who's Baylor playing?
LSU.
LSU.
Cool. I punch you in your face
Okay.
through the screen.
Through the screen. What are you? You're just sitting there laughing. What are you laughing about?
I was just thinking about some stuff.
What?
I actually can't say it. I'll tell you
Text,
when we get off.
text me then. Okay, Taylor.
Did he take? Who did he take?
I took Baylor.
No, who did he take?
He didn't say anything. He just said, "Oh."
LSU. It will be
Okay.
done.
I'm gonna take LSU, but I'm sure Baylor will have some quarterback that they're starting out for the first time to play. Because guess who Auburn plays on the road to start the season next year?
Baylor.
Baylor. So I'm sure their quarterback will turn into like a superstar. But give me LSU. Nussmeier's coming back next year, so they gotta also shouldn't just be clocking it in.
They got a good receiver out the transfer portal. LSU did.
The dude from Kentucky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Duke Blue Devils versus Ole Miss. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Ole Miss is trying to keep some of their players because they need to get paid, and the players got to wait for their contract. They got to play that game. So Ole Miss is going to win against Duke. Duke's 9-3, but it's a very overrated 9-3.
Duke's first string and second string quarterback are both in the transfer portal. So they have their third string quarterback. They're starting running backs in the transfer portal, and a bunch of their offensive linemen are in. This is legit their third string versus Ole Miss. Just putting that out there. Give me Ole Miss for that same
Max.
reason.
Ole Miss.
All right. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, North Texas versus Texas State. The Battle of Texas. Give me Texas State. I think they had a little bit better season than Texas State did this year.
Yeah, North Texas quarterback is in the portal. He just signed with somebody, I think. I can't remember who. Some Big 12 team. So give me Texas State. Texas State almost beat Iowa State this year. That was a close game. Or is it Arizona State? My bad. Arizona State, not Iowa State. Arizona State, yeah.
Texas State.
The Duke Mayo's Bowl, or they call it the Will Levis Bowl, Minnesota versus Virginia Tech. I'm going to go Minnesota. I think they had a little bit better team than Virginia Tech does. They have a good defense, and they actually played some close games this year with some teams. So, and Virginia Tech got beat by Vandy, but that's okay. Vandy is probably should have made the playoffs, but
The Alabama State champions.
yes. Max, go.
Minnesota.
Can
Your
somebody
mic
give me?
sounded so weird when you did that.
I need the Joe Biden meme where he's like, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota.
That's what I was referencing.
The Bahama Bowl,
My
Buffalo.
God, there's a
Bulls.
lot of fucking bowls. We're not done yet.
We're almost done with them. Liberty
Listen.
Flames versus Buffalo. Give me Buffalo. I don't know. Max.
Give me Buffalo, the Buffalo Communists.
Give me Liberty, or give me death. So give me
Liberty,
Liberty.
yeah, Liberty, they are the favorites. All right. We're done with the bowls. Now we're to the playoffs. So for these, we're gonna pick the spreads on them. The first one that we're gonna do is the Friday night game, 7:00, Indiana versus Notre Dame. Both teams are 11-1. The spread is Notre Dame favored by 7. Taylor, I'll let you take it off. What do you think?
Damn, this line's come down because it was like 7.5, 8, I think. I'm gonna take Notre Dame. I really want to take Indiana, but if it was like 8.5, I would. Give me Notre Dame. Oh shit. I don't know if they cover 7.
Okay, Max.
Indiana money line.
That's a good pick.
Indiana money line. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You should get some extra points if that hits.
I just, I think a week ago I would have said Notre Dame. Someone fart? No,
No.
Alex, was that you?
It wasn't me.
I heard that through the. Think about that. I heard that miles away through a screen. That's a good fart.
Science is cool.
What was I saying?
Indiana money line.
Indiana money line. Yeah. Yeah. Like a week ago, I probably would have picked Notre Dame, but now I'm just feeling like, man, Notre Dame. They've looked good recently, but they haven't been playing good teams. They've been playing Army and Navy. Like, yeah, you can look pretty good against them, and I still don't trust the quarterback throwing the ball. In Indiana, their strong suit's their offense, and if
But the
they can
strong
get
suit for Notre Dame is their defense.
yeah, but I think if Indiana can get up early, get some points on the board early, and kind of force Notre Dame to have to throw it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
we could see it could go Indiana's way. I'm gonna go with Indiana.
So what, like that point you're talking about right there, that is the key to the game. Is if Indiana can make Notre Dame throw the ball, that's going to be where they don't want to be in that position. Notre Dame has a great running game, and if they can get out first and be able to run the ball the whole game reliably, I think that'll lead to Notre Dame covering. I don't really trust Indiana as much as I do Notre Dame, which is weird saying because Notre Dame has the worst loss out of any team here. But none of them have been playing anybody, but I think Notre Dame will cover the 7.
But you gotta think though, also, Indiana's defense actually played pretty decent against Ohio State.
They did for
They
a little bit.
they lost because of their special teams.
Mm-hmm. And their offense was really bad.
Their offense is bad too, yeah. But
Hey, I'm changing something. We're doing an experiment here. Give me Indiana plus 7.
Okay. Oh,
One of us will be right.
Shout out to the college football playoffs for picking that matchup though. That's
They should do this as much as possible. Like I wish SMU was playing Texas.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And
That'd be a lot more
and
fun.
Clemson was playing Penn State. Because then you could get like Clemson, Penn State. Those are college football. Like one's a blue blood, one's a new blood, but still. And then you could have done
Battle of
SMU,
Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Next up is the SMU Penn State game. So I'll start this one off. Penn State covers the 8.5 points. I think the home game, the whiteout there, I don't think SMU will be able to handle it. I think Penn State has a really good defense. Obviously, against Oregon, it was very not good, but they're not playing Oregon. They're playing SMU. SMU lost to a bad Clemson team. This is probably me taking my anger out on SMU for losing that game as well. But I think Penn State covers. I think they blow them out. I think they probably win by 17 at least. Taylor, you can take it.
Look, dude, I'm taking Penn State to cover. Watch out for Penn State. With the Georgia stuff going on, if you look at their bracket, they have a path
They do.
to absolutely play for the national championship. Like
They do.
I have fully anticipate, spoiler, I mean, we've already talked about our brackets, but I fully anticipate Penn State versus Georgia in the semifinals in the Sugar Bowl or wherever it is. So yeah, Penn State covers. It's cold, and these dudes from SMU. They kind of struggled in the cold to start with in Charlotte. It's just gonna be colder. Like you said, I think they're doing another whiteout. So yeah.
Penn State covers.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly want to see Penn State win also just because I really want to I want to see their front 7 laugh when Boise State tries to run the ball 60 times up the middle against them.
Golly, the Raiders suck. All right.
So I kind of want to see that matchup just because I want to see Boise State get the fuck beat out of them.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, Clemson at Texas. The spread is 11.5 points. Max, I'll let you take the lead on this one.
So you said who, Texas?
Texas is
is
11 and a
favored
half,
by 11
and a half.
Give me Texas cover. Clemson's offense is ass. They're not going to be able to score on their Texas defense.
Okay, Taylor.
Yeah, Clemson is terrible. I really do think we're going to figure out how bad Clemson or SMU. That's my prediction about how bad Clemson and SMU are. So give me Texas minus 11.5.
Yeah, I do think Texas is going to win. 11.5 is still a lot of points, and that is a lot of time to give Dabo something to scheme up. But I also think that just them being in the ACC, they haven't had time. They haven't really played anybody like this besides Georgia the first game of the season. So for
That's what
that
I'm basing it
reason,
off
I'm going to
of.
say Texas covers, especially a home night game for Texas. It's not night, it's midday, it's 3 o'clock.
It's the midday game. Penn
Mhm.
State's the 11.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
I
I'm gonna
they
take Texas.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Like hit Clemson, like Max, you two just figured like their offense is ass and Texas's defense is elite. I, I struggle to see even if Ewers goes out there and has a shitty
Oh,
day.
it's
Like
going to win.
I could very much see like the maybe not as bad in the score, but like if y'all remember when Florida played in Texas with like their third string quarterback
Hmm.
and they scored 6 points.
Hmm.
I could see something like that. So all you really need at that point is 17 to cover that. So
Hmm. That's
yeah,
my hope is that both ACC teams just get absolutely dog walked in these games. I know it's just out of me being angry
I mean,
about
I
the
think
love, but I don't care.
Any SEC fans should be pulling for the SEC teams to win, just
Yeah.
because at some point your team is also going to be 9-3 or ten
Hmm.
and two. So
Yep. All right, now we got the 7 o'clock game, the most fun game, the hardest one to pick that I've been thinking about is the Tennessee Ohio State game. Ohio State is favored by 7. I'll start it off. So I've been going back and forth between what I think about this. Is Will Howard going to be able to show up? Is Nico going to be able to show up? Both teams' defenses are very good. Both teams' offenses are very, very hit or miss. But how I'm going to judge this is I'm going to go with Ohio State, but I'm going to take Tennessee covers at 7 points. I think Ohio State will win, but Tennessee covers at 7. I think they probably win by 4 or 5, maybe a field goal. But the home team, the home field advantage will be a lot for this. And I also think Ohio State has a little bit better, well, not a little bit. They have the better receivers. The freshmen that they have, I think they'll be the key difference in the game. But watch out, Nico has been playing a lot better as of recent. So that's the thing. If Nico comes out there slinging the ball, then that might be the one upset that we get is the Tennessee over Ohio State. Okay, Taylor.
I agree. Well, I disagree, but I agree. We're both taking Tennessee plus 7. I'm just not going to take the money line. I think Tennessee wins, but I'll take my points.
Yeah.
Um, I think Tennessee's defense is going to be the difference in this game. Everybody's talking about Nico, which it's a very good, fair point. But I think Tennessee's defense is going to torture Will Howard. I would not be shocked if Will Howard throws picks, sets up Tennessee's offenses in easy spots, and they win. And yes, I think this is statement, not statement, but just like game of the day. I'm glad it's at night. I'm glad it's a night game, so there's nothing else on. Like so, I mean, I'm gonna miss a lot of the Clemson game because Auburn playing during it. But I'm glad basketball. But I'm glad this is the night game. It'll be very close. But I think Max said it best when we first started this pod. He said, if it's a close game, bet against Will Howard. I think it's going to be a close game. So I'm betting against Will Howard.
Me too. I think in Tennessee, I think the defense is one of the elite ones. I think it's, even if their offense doesn't show up, I think it'll come down to be a close game in which Will Howard will shit his pants and Tennessee will win.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all of our games for college football. We can go into our sneaks and our locks. So who wants to do their first sneak?
Um, I'll go. I can't remember which one was. Oh, Montana State was that my lock? That was my sneak. I did the two FCS games for my Okay, I got it. So I did the two FCS two of the FCS quarterfinals, I believe, or it's the semifinals, the two FCS semifinals for my sneak and lock. My sneak is going to be for whatever reason. I know South Dakota State won earlier this year when they played in South Dakota State, but they're favored by 1.5. And I know I have it written down as money line over North Dakota State, but North Dakota State's the home team. So give me North Dakota State plus 1.5 for a lock. I mean, I every time I watch, they don't lose there in the playoffs. So 1.5 North Dakota State.
All right, Max.
Or a sneak.
Sneak.
My sneak is not really a sneak, but probably at home. Little sneaky.
What'd you say?
It just said my internet was unstable, so
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said Clemson minus 1.5 versus South Carolina at home basketball.
That
Gotcha.
is tomorrow night.
Now my sneak. Now you're gonna have to listen close here. Auburn is favored by 39.5 points against Georgia State. Yeah, it's at home. Yeah, it's Georgia State, but 39.5 points.
Can you tell me how much they beat Ohio State by on a neutral court this weekend?
How much?
Well, the final score is 91-53. So
91 to 53.
38.
38.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Georgia State covers. I don't care. I don't care. 39.5 points is wild. Probably a stupid bet.
They
I
banked
don't
in a
care.
3. They banked in a 3. It was 45 at one point when we put our scrubs in.
Don't care. Georgia State covers against Auburn. Now I'll go ahead and tell you my lock of the week. Let me find it on here. Lock of the week. Penn State covers the 8.5 points against SMU. I think that's a horrible matchup for SMU. I think Penn State is able to run it. And then on defensively, I think they'll be able to just get after the SMU quarterback. Clemson was able to do it. If Clemson can do it, Penn State will definitely be able to do it. So 8.5 point lock. Penn State against SMU. Go back to you, Max.
College basketball. I got Dayton minus 11.5 versus UNLV. I don't know why, they're just better though.
Oh, I mean, this is a good pick. Yeah, Dayton's played with the big boys. UNLV hasn't. Ready? I'm doing Montana State at home -9 against South Dakota. The Dakotas really run college football, if you really think about it.
Apparently they do.
Yeah. So, I want Montana State. Defense will absolutely swallow South Dakota's offense. You heard it here first. They're going to swallow them,
Whoa.
and they might score like 6 points. So give me Montana State to win and then meet North Dakota State in the championship game.
Well, there you have it. Taylor knows about the FCS playoffs. I have no clue about any of those teams. But yeah, all right. That's it for us. That has been all of our picks. I hope y'all are able to win some money off of them and hope y'all enjoyed listening to us talk some football and some basketball. We'll see y'all. I think I'll upload Friday for the NFL picks. Hopefully. I'll try my best. But this has been the Weekends Over podcast. We'll see y'all later.